What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA Show with me, my Huzaifa, super fan, I guess you could say, and Justin Guitar Hero James, your professional MMA fighter, to give you the real when it comes to all these fun topics. All right, well, I hope you guys all had an awesome Easter, and I hope you guys are having a good April 1st or April Fool's Day, and there's been some crazy stuff today that is in the MMA headlines that I'm pretty sure some of it is our April Fool's jokes. But yeah, we had some cool stuff over the weekend. Did you get a chance to watch any of those fights, or did you just hear about them after the fact that from this
Yeah,
UFC?
I highlighted them. I was out and about. I had some friends in town, so I didn't watch them live. But this morning I was watching the highlights, the
Yeah,
eye poke highlights. That was crazy. Buckley looked great. It
Buckle
really
looked great.
surprised me, man. He's going to be a problem for welterweights, dude. This guy is very, very strong. I really wasn't sure. I thought it was going to be a close fight. I mean, we'll talk about it on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. All right. So without further ado, let's jump first into our first topic. So I just want to say whatever people want to say about that eye poke, this and that. I'm still pretty excited for Chris Weidman about the victory. Now, I'm gonna pull up some stuff regarding the eye pokes, and we're gonna take a look at it together because I want to get your thoughts. I did look at the eye poke, and you guys can kind of decide for yourself. But if you heard Chris Weidman in the post-fight interview, he talks about the eye pokes, and he's like, "I was poked. He was poked twice in the eye too." And if you look at his face his eye was all black and blue from getting poked in the eye. His stance was, and we're gonna show the footage in a second. His stance was, look, man, eye pokes happen. You get eye pokes. He's like, I didn't complain to the ref. I didn't sit out when I got eye poked. I didn't do anything. I just fought through it. He's like, that's what you're supposed to do, in his opinion. So he felt like it was unwarranted that they even removed the TKO and they switched it to a unanimous decision or whatnot. But Justin, I wanted to turn over to you, obviously, to get your perspective on what Chris had to say. Did you see it, number one? And number two, what do you think about Chris's perspective?
I mean, of course he's going to say that because he won, and that's the thing, especially as a lawyer, have a lawyer background, you can't attest any other way, or he can have it a controversial win, as he did, in my opinion. But he has to stay. He can't say that, he won because of the eye pokes, and his fight, could possibly get overturned. So I understand why he's saying the things he is now. As for the outcome, I mean, he double eye poked him. He hit him with the left finger in the eye, then the right finger in the eye. I thought it was pretty bad. And you know what? Like, he was coming forward too. I mean, you're gonna probably show the replay. Like, they criticized him for going down and covering his face. And I thought Bruno did everything right. Those are some brutal eye pokes. You got to protect your face. In that situation. So again, when you can't see, you don't know where he's coming from. So he fell down to cover up. He tried to express to the ref that he was eye poked. Especially for a double eye poke. I think the referee should have been a little bit more on top of that. I think it was Keith Peterson. Usually Keith is on top of that. I didn't like that they stopped the fight. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm happy for Chris. I'm a Chris Weidman fan. I just didn't really want to see him win like that.
Man, so it's so frustrating because, like, I think both of us really want to see Chris Weidman win. I'm still happy for him, but all right, I'm going to show you guys the eye poke. Let's take a look. We can't monetize yet, so even if this does get demonetized, it's not the end of the world, right? So we're just gonna show it here. Let's pull it up. I'll still mute it, so make sure that'll help us a little bit. All right, check this out. All right, so there's the eye poke. I don't know if you can really see it. Hold on.
They have a slow down version of it.
It's right there. Do you see it?
Yeah, that's a great stop. That's a great stop right there, how you stopped it.
Yeah.
His pointer finger is right in his eyeball.
Oh, God, it's such a brutal thing. Okay, so then goes boom, he goes down, and then he's kind of complaining.
Him with the right, too. He hits him with the right one, too. I think he double eye pokes him here. He goes right here. I don't know. I don't remember where it was, but I saw a slow-mo of Chris, like, throws a jab cross, and the jab pokes him in the eye, and the cross pokes him in the other eye.
Okay, maybe that could have been another point, because this looks like he hits him with a hook right after. Now, what are your thoughts on? So he goes down, boom, and then he's immediately complaining. Like, if that was you in the fight, would you do the same thing? If you got hit with that aggressive of a poke, would you try and call attention to it, or would you just fight through it? What would you do?
At that point, I mean, it looked like I said, it looks pretty bad. It just really depends on the severity of it. Like I said, when I was fighting, I'd probably call attention to it, because when I was getting hit in the back of the head, when, in the fight that you were at, like, I was trying to call, I was looking at the ref like, hey, man, you going to do your fucking job here, or am I just going to eat these unwarranted shots? And, so I think the right call there is to address it to the referee. I think he did the right thing, unfortunately. And now it's not Keith Peterson, so let me take that back. There was another fight, but regardless, I think he did the right thing. I think the referee probably was caught off guard, and he might have been looking for a way out. Nope, just leave it. It's good. Nope, it's good. Yep, just turn. Did you press the button? Turn it off. Okay, cool. Yeah, if it's off, you're good. Yeah, I think, like I said, I mean, it really just depends what position you're in. If you're Chris Weidman, you're going to argue. If you're in the other guy, if you're Bruno, you're going to argue it as well. So, it's just one of those. It's one of those shitty situations.
Should this have been overturned as a no contest, or do you think the unanimous decision was a good ruling to change it from a TKO to a unanimous decision? Oh,
I think in that case,
yeah, go ahead, sir. I was saying, do you think the fact that they turned it from a TKO to a unanimous decision was appropriate, or should it be a no contest?
It just depends. I mean, like I said, I heard that Chris was whooping his ass basically the whole fight. Now, had Chris been losing and that happened, I think it should be a no contest. Okay. But since he was winning, I'll have to rewatch the fight to understand, what happened in the first round. But with that being said, people say if it's halfway through the fight and something like that, an unintentional foul happens, they just go to the judge's scorecard. So, if Chris really won the first round, won the second round, this happened in the third round, I think he should be the victor.
Okay, well, that's all I needed to hear. Then going forward with that, I think we should just say, hey, congratulations to Chris Weidman. Amazing fight. Amazing to see him back in the winning column. And I did hear him after the fact say that he's still not thinking retirement. He still wants to get out there and fight and compete. And he did look really, really good. He looked sharp. I didn't watch it live, but I rewatched the fight later. And I thought he looked sharp. I thought he looked excellent. So I don't know. I kind of excited to see him get back out there. What do you think?
Yeah, me too, man. Chris Weidman. I shouldn't say I'm excited to see him get back there. I mean, unfortunately, Father Time is catching up with all these legends, man. And I'd like to see Chris go out. I know he's flying high right now. He's coming off a win, and when you win, the immediate feeling after is what's next? Who's next? I'm feeling great. With that being said, man, it only takes one fight to really derail you. After I won my last fight, I was like, all right, I'm back. I'm feeling great. Had 2 fights fall through. So, I can understand that post-fight high. But again, I'd love to see Chris Weidman retire right now off a W. Maybe seeing that people are saying it's controversial, like maybe another one, but I'm not really looking forward to it.
Got you. All right. Let's move along to the next fight that was pretty spectacular. Joaquin Buckley finishing Vicente Luque. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to show this to you. Actually, let me not even say anything yet. Hold on. I'm going to show this to you, and I want to see Justin's thoughts. I don't think you see this. Hold on 1 second, guys. Here we go. This is from Marty's hairline. From Kobe Smack talking to him. I guess somebody made this what's it called? Twitter account, Marty's hairline. Okay, listen to this.
What's up, y'all? Y'all already know who it is. Listen, it's something that's been on my mind. Something I feel like I got to get off my chest. Obviously, you guys know that I had one of the biggest fights of my career this weekend in Atlantic City. A beautiful win. But it's something that I saw and something that I heard that I feel like I got to confess to the world. So here it is. After my fight with Vicente Luque and me getting my hand raised, we got done and got cleared for medicals. I got checked up on. Everything was fine. Nothing was wrong with me. So after I got done and I got cleared, I seen Vicente. And I seen him walk towards this room. And in this room, I saw James Krause. I couldn't hear the initial conversation, but I seen James Krause hand Vicente Luque a ticket. And when he handed it to him, I could slightly hear him whisper in his ear, "You did a good job." Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that ticket was. But it's really been messing with me, y'all. So that's my confession, bro. That's
There's no way this is true, right? This has got to be an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that has to be an April Fool. For instance, James Krause isn't allowed at events, so that's
yeah.
Bold statement, man. That's throwing a
pretty
lot of
funny.
shade, dude. That's throwing a lot of shade.
Yeah.
Especially at James Krause, because regardless if he was involved or not involved, I think James Krause is an awesome coach, man. And
Yeah.
that's kind of bold of him to say, dude. kind of funny too, though. But
It's
hey,
kind of
you
funny.
lay in the bed you make, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I don't know where he came up with that or whatever. But anyways, it was a great fight and it was a great win for Joaquin Buckley. I don't know where he's going to end up in the rankings. Hold on, let me pull this up right now because I'm curious to see, and then maybe we can talk about what we think is coming up next for him. 1 second here. By the way, what did you think of the fight and the finish?
I only saw the finish. I didn't get to watch the whole fight. I thought Luque was going to be a little bit more crisp than Buckley, but that's the thing, man. Buckley's so powerful and explosive. He can end a fight in one shot or one kick. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. He's athletic. He can spin on one foot. Like everybody's seen that, the spin kick heard around the world.
Crazy.
And that to me, it reminds me a lot of like a Chaos Williams, just really explosive, can end the fight at any time, whether it's the first second of the first round or the 15th minute of the third round. This guy just is very explosive. He's very athletic. And like I said, I wasn't sure how this fight was going to go. Luque, again, I thought would be the crisper striker. But again, that's why we get in there and do the dance.
Okay, so check this out. We are going to look at the rankings here. This is just straight from the UFC. There's another page with Joaquin Buckley on there, but let's look at the welterweight division. So he just beat Vicente Luque, number 11. So I imagine Joaquin Buckley is going to jump to 11 or above, somewhere in there. What do you see as an interesting, let's say fun, what do you see as a really fun next matchup for Joaquin Buckley?
At welterweight?
Yeah.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, man.
Oh, that would be dope. Yes. Let's not give that fight to Colby. Let's see him go against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That'd be a dope fight. And let's hope that Colby gets the Ian Gary fight. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want Ian Gary to starch Colby and Joaquin Buckley, because it's going to be a striker's delight, man. And anytime I can get two high-level strikers, obviously Joaquin Buckley's going to bring in a lot more explosive power and blitzing effect. But dude, Wonderboy is just an incredible striker, and I just love to watch him work in the cage.
Amazing. All right. And guys, you know that UFC 300 is coming up very, very soon. So next week is going to be all UFC 300. We're going to have a ton of content. We're going to be talking about the entire card. I'm talking early prelims, top to bottom, all the way through. And when I throw a party for UFC 300, we're watching all the fights. We're going to be starting probably around like 3 or 4 o'clock and just watching everything. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So we're going to have lots and lots of content leading up to that. By the way, we broke, I should say, 200 subscribers. So guys, if you're watching right now, thank you so much. We're at 201, and that might not seem very big to a lot of people, but to us, we're through, and we're going to celebrate every little milestone. So this is a blast, and we're going to do tons more, as I mentioned, next week leading up to UFC 300, the big one. So exciting. All right. Now, we talked about this on Friday. We talked about the UFC Saudi card, which is on June 22nd, free on ABC, with my favorite fighter, Khamzat Chimaev, headlining the entire card against Robert Whittaker, another one of my top 10 favorite fighters in the UFC. I love Robert Whittaker. So this is going to be an amazing matchup, but there's so much to this card. Now, we talked about Shar Magomedov, who's an amazing kickboxer, incredible striker, but we didn't talk about this fight yet. Maybe we touched on it, but we didn't really talk about it. So this is crazy. Sergey Pavlovich versus Volkov. I don't know if you're a fan of Volkov. I definitely am. So first, I wanted to talk to you about this matchup. What do you think? Two amazing, crazy strikers going against each other. Do you have a prediction? Do you have a thought? Or
you never know, man. Like I've been very fortunate. I fought on a card or two with Volkov being the headliner, so I'm very familiar with him, man. And when he comes in, one of the fights that really sticks out to me for Volkov is when he fought Derek Lewis, man. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Man, he looks so fucking good, man. He picked him apart. But here's another thing you got to think about Volkov, about fight IQ. Volkov whooped Derek Lewis's ass for 95% of the fight. And with 10 seconds left, Derek comes in, hits him with a big shot, knocks him out with 5 or 10 seconds left. It was incredible. But just go to think about the mentality of Volkov. Dude, I'm winning this fight. There's 10 seconds left. He could back off, play defense for 10 seconds. He gets out of there with a unanimous decision win. Clearly, he won the fight. But he has that kill. He has that dog. He wants to finish everybody. There's 10 seconds left in a fight, and I just beat a guy's ass. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm going to back off, but I might back off because securing that win is so important. He doesn't have the mentality. He wants to finish and finish and finish. And Volkov's a fucking gangster for that. And it's actually, I think I was on that card. That's one of the cards I was on when he fought Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
But regardless of if I was or not, that doesn't really matter. He's just a dog, man. And man, it's gonna be tough. Pavlovich on the other side, dude. Very explosive, very strong. You know, I hope Volkov goes in there with a little smarter game plan, or not a smarter game plan, and maybe a similar game plan. But if he starts winning towards the end, man, I really want to see this guy get in there and get the W.
Okay, so we're gonna pull up real quick their stats, so just so we can take a look. And because I think Pavlovich, his like finishes are all crazy. Okay, so we're gonna look at both of these guys' records real fast, and I'm gonna give you my prediction as well. But I'm probably leaning more towards Pavlovich, the younger, newer fighter. So we got this, right? They both lost to Tom Aspinall, but basically Pavlovich had 6 wins in a row. Now look at this. Look at this. Round one. I mean, insane. Now this was a round 1 finish, but he got finished, but that was a crazy fight. Okay. So that's who he's fought. Beat Curtis Blades, Tai Tuivasa, crazy. And he did beat Derek Lewis pretty handily. Okay, now we're going to look at Volkov's. Here, let's look at Alexander Volkov's record. And he is coming. I mean, this is a great fight. Volkov is coming off of 3 victories in a row as well. Rosenstruck, amazing fighter, Romanov, and then Tai Tuivasa, who also Pavlovich has beaten. Obviously, not as crazy finishes, but look, a couple first round and 1 second round finish. So we're in for this is Striker's Delight. This is a crazy fight. Again,
I mean, you look at his losses though. You know, he lost to Tom Aspinall. You know, arguably the best heavyweight in the UFC right now. Cyril Gane fought John Jones, fought for the title. You know, a couple times. Curtis Blades coming off with a big win just recently. Like his last 3 losses are against top 5 opponents, top 8 opponents, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, and like, look, Volkov is no slouch. This is an amazing fight, an amazing matchup. I'm just probably leaning towards Pavlovich because he's kind of the newer fighter, newer guy on the scene. Hold on. Let me look at the age breakdown as well. Yeah, so Pavlovich is 31 and we've got Volkov at 35. Do you feel like that age is going to play any factor? Is pretty comparable.
I mean, it's 4 years. It's not always about the age. It's a lot about the mileage. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm only 34, but you know, with all the fights I've had, dude, I feel like I'm 134. So really, the UFC takes care of their guys. You know, they have a lot of great recovery at the UFC PI. I mean, you can basically do any recovery you want that will be covered by the UFC. So, you know, looking at these stats and looking at the younger guy, I think I'm gonna have to side with you at Pavlovich. Like, he's just an incredible finisher. Coming in. But again, don't call Volkov out, man. This guy is a very smart, he's very strategic, and he's always looking for the finish. You know, if Pavlovich, he can catch him with his hands down, he can't knock him out. But I'm going to agree with you. I think Pavlovich is going to win this.
All right, amazing. And by the way, I just looked that up, right? It's 47 victories matches, versus 20. So more than double, almost 2.5 times as many fights. So for whatever that's worth, whether you want to chalk that up to experience, damage, or a combination thereof, that's probably going to play some factor. But it's going to be an amazing fight. Again, UFC Saudi. I wish I could be there. Not going to be there. This is going to be way too much. All right. Final fight we want to talk about. We haven't talked about this fight, and there's good reason. Hold on, let me stop the screen share. There's good reason why we haven't talked about this fight. It's Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. And I think it's Nickel is spelled, hold on, A-L, not, yeah, hold on. Let me just update that. That's like the spelling of a coin. So we'll just get that right. Anyways, so we got Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. Now, Cody Brundage, if you guys don't know, his record is 10-5. So here, let me pull up his last couple fights as well. The reason why we haven't talked about this is, right, we're kind of know what the outcome is going to be. It's probably going to be like a first round finish for Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel 5-0, just a beast. But Justin, let me turn it over to you. First of all, do you know Cody Brundage, who's coming off 2 consecutive victories in his last 2 fights?
I don't, but looking at his record at 10-5, I think they're just serving Bo Nickel up. They're building this kid. The sky's the limit. Here's the thing. It's smart for the UFC to do that because they don't want him to get injured early in his career. You know what I mean? They need to put him against good matchups. He needs to get in there. He needs to get the cage experience, especially with such a big crowd. And he needs to come out of these fights unscathed. So I really think he's going to be a huge, like if they start putting him against guys, he's taking damage. His career isn't going to last long. This guy is a true potential to be a superstar in the sport, an incredible wrestling background. His striking is getting better daily. The UFC needs to take care of this guy. They need to make sure he's winning fights and not getting injured in the process.
Right. And, I actually am just looking more closely at Cody Brunder's record. Even though he's got 2 victories in a row, the last victory was from a disqualification from an illegal elbow. So really, in terms of a finish, it was a first-round disqualification. But in terms of a finish, that was his last victory against Zachary Reese. So I'm not sure who that is. But that was on the Dariush Sarukian card, and he got a round 1 finish, and he did get performance of the night. So that's cool. But, yeah, it is probably going to be a pretty quick fight. Still excited about it. What do you think about the placement on the card? The fact that this fight is one of the main fights, main events. What do you think?
I think what they're trying to do, I don't like it personally. I don't think he's a superstar yet. But with that being said, I said yet. So what's happening is why I think they're putting him on the main card is to get eyes on him, to get the casual fan that don't know much about him, that are only tuning into the main card to tune into this up and coming guy. I think there's 20 other guys, 50 other guys on the roster that deserve this spot over Bo Nickel. But I think it's an incredible business decision to get eyes on him, to get fans watching him, because again, they're setting him up for success. They're setting him up for a big finish. Now you have millions of people watching. Bo Nickel has a little bit of star power right now just because of his wrestling credentials. But you get the casual fan watching that doesn't know much about him. He goes in there and starches Corey Brundage, doesn't take him down, but starches him. Now you just saw a million people watch a wrestler knock somebody out. I think it's an incredible business decision. That's why the UFC is where they're at. They're building this kid. They're trying to make him a superstar, and they're doing all the right things to do that.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at it personally. We talked, I think, before about Aljo it would make more sense technically from that experience standpoint and notoriety that Aljo should be on the main card instead of this fight. But I'm not mad at it. I am excited to see Bo Nickel. And one of the most fun things about the sport, in my opinion, is not just watching amazing matchups, but it's watching the ride. It's watching the roller coaster ride when you can see like a fighter like Khamzat Chimaev, who I've been watching from the get-go, right? Watching him rise to fame, watching him rise to really seeing like, holy smokes, he's so impressive with these kind of lesser known fighters. We want to see what he really accomplish beating somebody like Kamaru Usman, right? That was all the talk. That was all the hype back in the day. We think he could go in and beat Kamaru Usman right now. That was eventually proven to be true, a couple years down the line. But, these exciting, interesting questions, especially with somebody who's great on the mic. I think Bo Nickel's great on the mic as well. I think he's really interesting. And he almost doesn't fit like what you would typically think about because he's as a fighter, because he's so clean cut. He's so, everybody is very family oriented and all about community in the fighter community. I've noticed there's a big importance on that, but Bo Nickel is just such an interesting, like he doesn't seem as though somebody who would go into fighting, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but that's what I kind of feel like when I listen to him in interviews. So he's a very fascinating fighter and an interesting person to watch. And I can't wait. And one day maybe it'll be him versus Khamzat for the belt. Let's see.
That'd be a great matchup.
So that's pretty much it for the show. These are the topics we wanted to talk about. Hopefully we can dive in on Friday a little bit deeper into what's going on as well in the middleweight division with Sean Strickland. There's a lot of moving pieces happening. We've got Khamzat versus Robert Whittaker. There's a lot of rumors of Izzy going up to fight Dricus du Plessis next. I think Sean Strickland is weighing in that he wants that next title shot. I don't know what's going to happen. We can dive deeply into it on Friday. But that's it. Justin,
I do have a note for you, and I heard some people talking about it yesterday. I actually saw it. Yes, I saw it somewhere online yesterday, the day before, and then people were talking about it at the gym this morning. Sean Strickland versus Kamaru Usman.
That would be a great fight. Wait, so that's actually in the works right now, potentially?
There's potential. It's being talked about right now from legit sources. It's not for sure. It's not even. It's still 50-50, but people are talking about it.
That's a fun fight.
And then the winner would get the winner of that fight would get the winner of du Plessis and whoever he fights.
Wait. So okay. That's you mean after du Plessis' next fight?
Yes.
Got it.
So if du Plessis fights Adesanya and whoever wins that, then Sean or you know what I'm talking about, Sean Kamaru Usman, yes, exactly.
So it sounds okay. Well, this is crazy. Well, it's going to be fascinating because Dana White did say Khamzat and Whittaker winner would face du Plessis next after theoretically. So I don't know. I could see all of it. There's so much happening in middleweight. Middleweight's now become one of the most exciting.
And keep in mind, people spread rumors for guys like us to talk about too.
Right. All right. Well, hey, let's see what happens. Let's see how the week plays out. We're definitely going to jump back into it deeply on Friday. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. And Western Mass Clyburn said, imagine it's Usman versus Izzy. Well, it's not going to be that. I don't think they're.
Yeah,
they're
they'll never do that. They're buddies.
Yeah. But anyways, oh, sorry, Justin, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the 200 subs plus 201. If you're watching for the first time, please click that subscribe button. We got tons of content and more content coming out next week and thereafter. We're having a lot of fun, so we hope you'll join us on this journey, and we will see you in the next video. Take it easy.